Hello, I made it live again today. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to be on here live more is because every day things come up that I want to share. Every day things come up that I feel like are share worthy, because even if just one person hears this, it could be potentially life changing. And I'm not saying this is even from what I know, this is from what comes out of the conversations that I have with my clients and my um, membership members, the other practitioners, my students. Like even today, I couldn't decide what to make this topic of because I could literally speak to three different things. So I'm going to focus it on, because I only have about 5 minutes to talk about women's bodies, women's wisdom. Now, I did title this YouTube live after one of my favorite books of all time, if you want to call it a book, by Christiane Northrup. And this book I know has just changed the lives of so many women because it teaches them basically the science of, the body, mind, soul unity and the plethora of wisdom available to us when we really tune in as women to our cycles. Yeah. And, this is something that I've been feeling into more for myself because it's something I've always done. And I can't really imagine not having that intuitive wisdom that comes with, um, you know, being very aware of what our emotions and what our cycles are telling us, but also when they're off, and the wealth of information for healing available there if we're not cutting it off. And something that comes up a lot in my sessions is the symptoms of PMS, and then the often very strong emotions that can come either premenstrually or menstrually. And how I've had many, many women over the years just specializing in, because I specialized in weight loss, I've had many women working on hormonal balancing, or, resolving hormonal imbalance. And I actually went through that process myself the last few years. And I love healing hormonal imbalance, and I love connecting it, women, reconnecting women to the wisdom of their bodies and their cycles. And one of the things that's just been such a pronounced, to me, it's just something I know without a doubt over the years, is the strong emotions that come up during a period or before, at that time of the month, because it is often seen as bad or insane, or somehow illogical and weird, or like not well. But what it actually is it's the body being totally well. Like it's putting in our faces what was there all along, but maybe we were able to ignore it, or maybe there are emotions that we haven't given attention to that are saying, hey, I'm in your face now. And that's why there's a lot of anger that comes up at that time, or even like a woman can feel fed up because it's the heightened. So that's what's so beautiful and special about having the attunement with your cycle, because the wisdom that is there for us. And then especially if you kind of look at where it is in comparison to the moon cycle, and understand that this is like an ancient wisdom that you can tap into. And not only does it have information for your healing, it has information for your divine purpose. And so the discomfort that we might feel is actually a perfect pointing. It's basically like our body saying, this is what you need to look at. This is what you need to focus on. And granted, this can be difficult to just do kind of sitting there, especially If the person tends to be more analytical or logical or looks for information of this nature or solutions to a physical problem in the logical and analytical mind. And that's where it falls apart, right? Because these solutions and the insights and the clear path of where to go to resolve the physical problem is not found in the analytical space. And that's why hypnotherapy just has been so golden for so many people for hormonal balancing, menstrual pain or issues, infertility, and on and on and on. Because once the woman can connect to her innate wisdom, but that's available to her, especially at that time, at that really powerful time when everything is pronounced. Like I just did a session where I can actually just take that feeling and follow it right back to the moment it began. And then once that feeling is processed and integrated and the lessons are learned and the release happens, well, the hormonal balance starts to happen, and then weight stops being gained, starts to be lost, and so on and so forth. And emotions and even discomfort during that time are lessened. And my last quick note here, thanks for listening, is that this also occurs in menopause. Because I worked in weight loss for so many years, I worked with a lot of menopausal women. And it's the same thing. It's just a little bit different, but there's wisdom there in the symptoms. And the way that I learned how to take away menopause symptoms wasn't by telling someone, oh, you're not going to feel this anymore. This isn't going to happen like people think might happen in hypnosis. It's not like that. It's like I actually just help them get to what their body is trying to tell them, because menopause is a time for women to really bring the focus back to themselves. Menopause is a time for women to come back to themselves and to, you know, to feel into, to give themselves that time of nurturing and go through that rite of passage of ultimately caring for others into like a more divine space with themselves and with life. And all of these things are always helping us move into that space of divinity with ourselves. And our bodies are not against us. And in fact, they're always there to show us and guide us to exactly what we need for our healing, our sanity, and our freedom. So thanks for being here. I am going live every day. So far, it's worked 3 days in a row. I'm Hypno Heather. I do one-on-one sessions like this. I'm also going to do a group around this. I think instead of the weight loss group, I'm going to really focusing on hormonal balancing and divine wisdom of women's bodies. And also I train others in how to do this work. So thanks for being here. I've got to go to my next call now. See you tomorrow.